Hello everyone. Today I'm going to explain about the fifth experiment in your computer network lab, that is to implement ESS with transmission mode in wireless LAN and obtain the performance parameter. This is the fifth experiment in your computer network lab. So before entering into the program and explaining what exactly is the program and before watching the output, let us first have an introduction to what do you mean by ESS and what do you mean by a wireless LAN and how we can obtain the performance parameters of this one. So let us have an introduction to the wireless LAN. So a wireless LAN is nothing but the full form of wireless LAN, WLAN is nothing but a wireless local area network, which is that is a wireless local area network is a flexible data communication system implemented as an extension to and wired LAN. That is, as an alternative to the wire LAN, we have come up with the wireless LAN. So how exactly the wireless LAN works means it uses the radio frequency technology where to transmit and receive the data in the LANs over the air, which will minimize the need of the wireless connection. So that is what is a wireless LAN is. So the few of the advantage of your wireless LAN are, that is, installation speed and simplicity is good because we need not to lay a wire and we need not to struggle with that. Installation flexibility is there, reduces the cost of the ownership, mobility and scalability will be there. So these are the advantages of your wireless LAN. Is coming to the disadvantage of the wireless LAN, there are, yes, few disadvantages for your wireless LAN. That is the cost, as the installation cost will be obviously high compared to this. So single bleed over will be there. Environmental conditions will matter, because if, for example, as we are not laying a cable to connect the multiple systems over here, so if there are buildings or trees or any other obstacles are there between the two devices, then there will be a deterioration in the that is strength. So all these are the few of the disadvantages. So slower bandwidth will be there. So that is of the less capacity. These are the few of the advantages and disadvantages of the VLAN. Now let us look into how exactly the that is wireless LAN, that is WLAN, works. So your 802.11 infrastructure looks exactly like this. That is, a network can be used in two different mode. One is the infrastructure mode and another one is the ad hoc mode. So it can be operated in these two modes. So let us go in detail and understand what exactly is the infrastructure mode and the ad hoc mode. So let us first speak about the infrastructure mode. This infrastructure mode actually requires the central access point that all devices connects to. That means here the multiple systems, that is laptops, mobiles, any of the devices can be connected, and these that is the ring, what you can just check it out over here, this is called as a BSS. That is nothing but the basic service set. So each basic service set will be having an access point, and multiple systems can be connected in this that is in this basic service, that is BSS, through this access point. But whereas when we deal with multiple BSS, that is more than one BSS are used, so each BSS are only constrained to it can't communicate with the other BSS. That is, the first BSS can't be communicated with the other one. So if you want to make a communication between one BSS to the another BSS, for example, the source is in one BSS and the destination computer or laptop is in another BSS, then we have to make use of this another structure, that is the infrastructure mode, where the access points of all the BSS are connected through an distributed system. So this distributed system will be of the wired type, whereas the access point, the BSS works on the logic of the wireless LAN. So any number of BSS can be connected through the distributed system, through wired distributed system, by connecting this access point to that. So once this multiple access points of multiple BSS are connected together, it will allow the one system in one BSS to interact with the other system in the another BSS. So this is how the infrastructure mode works with. Whereas once we come down to the ad hoc mode, the advantage of ad hoc mode over the infrastructure mode is, here if multiple base stations are there, to communicate between different base stations, that is systems are connected in the different base stations, we are making use of the DSS where the access points are connected to that. Whereas here there is no requirement for the distribution system. All the system, that is different BSS can be automatically, that is it will get peer-to-peer mode will be operated in the ad hoc mode, where ad hoc network doesn't require the central access point. So instead the wireless network can connects directly to each other, that is each system can communicate with the other one. That is the advantage of your ad hoc that is ad hoc mode over the infrastructure mode is. So now let us come down to the abbreviations of what exactly is the access point, what is the that is BSS, ESS and all. So if we speak about in detail, means access point, that is AP, which I have shown here, this AP which we have connected in the base station, that AP is nothing but a station that provides the access to the distribution system. That is the base that is BSS is connected to the DS through the AP. Now coming to what do you mean by BSS, means BSS full form is nothing but basic service set. A set of station controlled by a single access point is nothing but called as a base station. It will have its own range, and within that range the multiple systems can be connected to a single AP. Next, coming to the distribution system, a system that is distribution system is nothing but this one. So a system used to interconnect a set of that is a set of BSS are interconnected to create an ESS. What do you mean by an ESS? Is nothing but extended service set. So what is this extended service set? Means two or more base service set interconnected by distribution system is nothing but called as an ESS. Next, followed by what do you mean by a portal? Means logical entities where 802 networks are integrated with a non 802.11 network is called as a portal, that anyway we will not be using. So this was I think this much of introduction is more than sufficient. So I'll just show you the structure or the topology. So this is an example of a wireless that is WLAN topology which is connected through the ad hoc network. So this is one BSS and this is another BSS which is named as BSS, that is basic service set 1 and basic service set 2. In this basic BSS, multiple that is systems are connected. That is, it can be laptops, it can be mobiles, or what are the system it is. So multiple systems are connected, which we have named it as station 1, station 2, station 3 and station 4 in the base 2. Now these two, how exactly it will be communicated and how it is connected through the distributed system, that is how exactly ESS helps to make the communication between these two BSS is the experiment what we are actually going to speak, or which I am going to explain in the next further slides. Next, if we come down to the infrastructure mode, so the two BSS it remains the same. Only thing is, in the ad hoc network mode, no access points are there to connect these two networks and to make the communication between these two BSS. Whereas if we come down to infrastructure mode, for each BSS we should have an access point, and these two access points are connected via a distribution system. So that is what the main difference between your infrastructure mode and the ad hoc mode is. So I think this much of that is introduction is sufficient. So let us move on to 1 minute. Now let us start with the NS2. So how to enter this screen means, on your desktop there will be an icon called as Oracle VM VirtualBox. If you double click on that Oracle VM VirtualBox, this screen will be opened. 1 minute. Okay. Once you click on that Oracle VM VirtualBox on your screen, so this screen will be open. In this screen, if you just click on, there will be a start button over here. So if you just click on the start button, the screen will be opened on your screen. So this is where that is the VirtualBox has opened now. So this is where we are actually going to type the program, and we'll be seeing the output on your simulator screen. So how to open the program, and how, that is how to open the screen that is file to write the program and how to save it and all. Now I'll be explaining that one. So on this screen, you have to right click and you have to go for an open terminal. Click on the open terminal. So that will give you the that is this particular screen here. First you have to, before starting with the program, first you have to verify whether that that is NS2 is working properly, that has been installed properly and working properly or not. So for that sake, I'll just type it as NS. So and that is press the enter button. So if it is working properly, this is how it looks. That is a percentage symbol will be shown to you. So if there is any problem in installation of the NS and if it is not working properly, a error message will be displayed on this one. As of now, it's working properly, so no error message has been displayed. So after that, just press Ctrl C, which will make you to come out of the NS. So now you have to check for the animator, because the output will be seen on the animator, right? So network animator, NS represent network simulator. Now I'll be checking for the network animator, which is nothing but NAM. You have to type it as NAM and press enter. So this screen will be open to you, which is nothing but the network animator screen. So if there is any problem in network animator, means at that time an error message will be shown to you. If there is no problem, and if it is working properly, this screen will be displayed onto you. Once after verifying, you can just close it. Now we can move on with the program. So to write the program, or to, and that is type the program, you have to go write it as gedit, that is GEDIT, followed by space the file name. You have to give the file name for your program. So I'll just give it as CNP5 .tcl. You can give your own name also. There is no issues that it should be the same. So it should be like gedit file name .tcl. TCL is an extension. So that that is followed by the file name. You have to give it as an you have to give it as, with the extension of the TCL. Now what do you mean by TCL? Means tool command language. That is the program what you are writing, it will be in the tool command language. After that, press enter. That will open this particular screen. So actually for you, it will be a blank white screen where you have to type the program. You have to just that is start typing, it will take it. Whereas I have already typed the program and I have kept it ready. This is what is your program, that is fifth programmers, which is written for your ESS, that is implement ESS with transmission nodes with in wireless LAN and obtain the performance parameter. So I'll just explain the program. After that, I will go to the output window. So the first line of your program, any program in your that is NS2 should be starting with this particular thing, that is this sentence, that is set NS, that is a new network or simulator object will be created upon writing this particular instruction, that is set NS new simulator. A new network simulator object will be created once this will be executed. After that, there is that is next you have to go for that is go for creation of the that is trace file. So the trace file is the one which will hold all the data whenever you are that is all the data when you run the program, which will be saved on your trace file. So your main program will be in terms of trace file. So that is set TF represent trace file. So set TF, in square braces you have to write open, that is whatever the file name you have given to this prior gedit, some file name you have given, right? The same name should be used here, .trw. What exactly this means is, it is asking you to open a trace file, that is to create a trace file with this particular file name, and .tr extension is, it should be a type of trace file. So this last W represent this trace file, we have to write it. So W represent write it onto the trace file. So this instruction is set, that is set a trace file, that is open a trace file with this particular file name and write it onto that. Next, to make it get implemented, that is to work, we have to that is run this, right? So $ns means this $ns makes this particular file to get opened and to create it. So trace all, that is trace all means when you run the program, all that that is data related to this program will be stored as a trace all in this particular file. So after that, next is, as you know, we are running the program for ESS with transmission nodes, right? That is, we are creating a topology. In the introduction, I explained you two base stations will be there that will be connected through an ESS. So there is a topology for that, right? So we are speaking about that network topology. So we have to create a new topology, and we have to give the further details for that new topology. So set topo is represented as topo is nothing but a topology. So set topo, new topography. So a new topography object must be created. So for that sake, we are using this set of instruction, that is a set topo, new topography. Now to create it, that is, this instruction will only create the object file, and to make it that is created, only this will be object file will be created, and to make it work, this next set of instructions should be written, that is $topo load flat grid, that is the screen grid size will be there, right? That should be mentioned. So for that sake, a flat grid size of 1300 cross 1300, that is 1300 space 1300 will make it of the size of x-axis and y-axis as the 1300 cross 1300. You can change this value according to your convenient. You can give any value over there. So that is nothing but the size of the topology what you are mentioning over there. So a topology will be created after this. Next is we have to even see the output on the animation screen, right? So we have to even create one more animator file. So for that sake, set NF, that is nothing but NF is nothing but that is network animator file. Okay, so open with the same file name what you have given for the trace file, the same name should be even used for your animator file. So give the same name, that is open cnp5.nam. This nam extension is nothing but, now we are creating the animator. Previously we have given it as tr, that was for the trace file. Now same file name dot that is nam space w will make the system create an animator file, and it will make it to write it onto that animator file. What are the further details will be given. Now next is, now we have only created the object file, now we have to implement it. So for that sake, nam trace all wireless. So that is, we are giving the further detail, right? All the trace that is trace data trace all data will be taken, and it is of the wireless type what we are creating, and which will be of the size of 1300 cross 1300. That is the topology details we are giving over here. After that, next we have to give the further details as the network configuration, that is to make it to work, that is to make the network topology to work in a specific method. We have to give some network configuration details. So all these are standardized network configuration details. We'll only tell what it has to do. So further, what exactly is this means? NS network config. So ad hoc routing, that is, as I told, we will be using, there is two modes of operation, infrastructure and ad hoc. So here I'm giving the details, further details, telling that I'll be using the ad hoc routing mode rather than the infrastructure mode. So that is what is specified over here. So node configuration should include which routing mode you will be using. So I'm using ad hoc routing. So I have specified it as ad hoc routing. DSDV is the one what I'll be using. So the next one is nothing but LL, that is link layer type I'll be using. Then MAC type, I'll be using 802.11 MAC type, that is which wireless LAN type I'm using. That is what is the IEEE standard is mentioned over here. After that, IFQ type is mentioned over here. So now what do you mean by IFQ type is infrastructure frequency Q, that is Q details will be mentioned over here. So Q, drop tail and pre-Q will be taken into consideration. Channel type, which type of channel, whether it is wired channel or wireless channel, that is mentioned. So as we are using wireless channel, so we have to mention it as channel type is wireless channel. Next, which prototype are you using? We are using the two-ray ground prototype for the propagation. As we are using wireless, so we have to speak about the antennas and the propagation type, right? So we are using two-ray ground propagation type. After that is, which antenna type are we using? I'm using omnidirectional antenna, so that detail is also mentioned over here. Next, what is the length of the Q? That is IFQ queue type you have used, right? So what is the length of that one? That length I have mentioned it as 50. So IFQ length will be equals to 50. Next, physical type. So which physical type are you using? That is wireless physical type I'm using, because wireless or wired, two types are there, right? So I'm using the wireless physical type. Next, topo instance, that is the topology details. Now that topo instance, the topology detail is mentioned in $TOPO, that is topo. You can just observe already that set of instructions are written over here. So immediately when the node will be configured, it will go and search for this $TOPO command, and it will just go and check it out with that one. Next, agent trace and root trace. These are nothing but which are the agent you are using, because there are different types of agent like TCP agent, UDP agent, HTTP and all. So there are different types. So among that, we have to trace the agent which we are using and which route are we taking, even that has to be used. So for that sake, trace agent on and root trace on, that is which router we are using, and the path has to be followed. So even the trace on that one will be switched on. After that, these are the network configuration details. So this is preliminary. Yes, it is mandatory for you to give all these details for the node once you create. Now let us go for that is still we have not created the node. So once we will create the node, that node configuration will be working on the type, that is description what we have given over here. So next, let us move on with the creation of the node. So before creating the node, let us create a God. That is nothing but GOD, represent general operational descriptor. So now what is this general operation descriptor is? This GOD or the general operational descriptors actually stores the hopping details in the network. Whenever there is an hopping in the network from one node to the another node, that all details will be managed by this God. That is nothing but general operational descriptor. So first let us create general operational descriptor with 3. What is the 3 means? In our program we are taking only 3 nodes, so I have specified it as 3. So if you are going for more number of nodes, you can change this number and you can specify how many ever the nodes you are using. Now after this, in God will be created, right? That is the general operator descriptor will be created. Now we have to give the further details, the node creation. So for that sake, let us move on with the creation of the node, that is set n node, that is ns node. That is nothing but to create a node, first we have to set that is node has to be created. Then after that, then that is for that sake, set n naught, n1, n2. These are the 3 nodes we will be creating, and $ns node will make the node to get created. First we are only creating the object file, then we are creating the making it the node to be created. So this set of instruction should be written in this way, that is set n naught $ns node. So 3 nodes will be created after this set of instruction, n0, n1, n2. Now, as you know that we are creating the, after creating the node, we are using an ESS, and that is different nodes. One will be used as BSS1, one will be used as BSS2, because basic service set 1 and 2 will be communicating with each other. That is what is our experiment is. So for that sake, let us rename these nodes with, rename these nodes. How to rename the nodes means $n0, whichever the name node you want to give the name, so that you can write it as n0 label ESS. That is, now your n0 node will be replaced or labeled as ESS. N1 node will be labeled as that is mobile network 1 or BSS1, whatever the name you want, you can give it over here. N2 will be labeled as mobile network 2, that is mob 2. After that, now we have to give further details to this particular node, as we are using the wireless nodes. So obviously we have to give the configuration details for this one, right? That is, we have to give the coordinate details for the node, that is x coordinate, y coordinate, and z coordinate. So to give the coordinate details for each node, we have to use this set of instruction, that is $n0, that is we are speaking about the n0, set x underscore 10. That means for n0 node, set the x axis as 10. N naught node set the y axis as 600. Only we'll be speaking about x axis and y axis. We are actually not speaking about that is we are not using the z axis. So let us keep the z axis value as 0. We are only will be only specifying x axis and y axis details over here. This coordinate details can be changed, that is numbers can be changed. You can give any other numbers also, like 100 and 100, 200 and 200 for the another node, 300 and 300 for the another node. Like that you can change the numbers. There is no specific thing like you have to give it as 10 and 600 only. It can be anything. Now coming to the n1 node, in the same way how we have created for n0, in for n1 and n2 also it remains the same. We'll just give the set the x and y axis value and x and y axis value for the n1 and n2. Z will let us keep it as 0. Now we have only set these things, so we have to implement that one. That is, it has to be assigned to the nodes. For that sake, $ns. Now the network simulator will actually take the node with these particular details. So for that sake, $ns at 0.1, your n naught, that is inside the inverted n naught set destination, that is now your n naught node will be set with the destination of x axis with the 10 value, y axis with the 600 value, which you have given clearly over here. The same data should be mentioned over here. But whereas this 15 whatever we have written, this is not the details regarding the z axis, because z axis is already given as 0. So this 15, the last number, this 15, 25 and 25 what we have mentioned for n0, n1, n2 are the speed at which it should work. So your n0 node speed is given as 15, n2 and n1 and n2 speed is given as 25 and 25. This is not fixed. You can give any value over here. So once after the nodes are created and we have given the coordinate values for that, let us now move on with the agent. That is, now nodes are created. Now we have to interconnect these nodes. So whenever we have to interconnect these nodes, obviously we have to use it agent to interconnect these nodes. So as you know, we have UDP agent, TCP agent and all. We'll be using the TCP agent in this case. So what we'll do it is, a new agent has to be created and then it has to be attached to the each node. So what we'll do is, here I'll specify set TCP new agent slash TCP. So what we have to do it over here is, as I'm using multiple TCP agent, because I have two different BSS, that is basic service set, mobile 1 and mobile 2, which I have named it as. So as I have two different two BSS, I'll be using two agents. Both will be TCP agents only. So to only differentiate between these two agents, what I'll do it is, for the one that is mobile 1, for the one BSS, I'll be giving the name as TCP0 as the agent, and for the another one I'll give it as TCP1 as the agent name. So here what we'll be doing is set TCP0 new agent slash TCP. So what it will do means, a new TCP agent will be created. Now we have to assign it to the node. So for that sake, what we'll do it is, the source node of the TCP connection, to create the source node of the TCP connection, NSS attach agent. Now this agent whatever we have created, that is TCP0, has to be attached to the node. So attach agent n0 TCP0. Now this set of instruction will make the n0 node to get assigned with the or attached with the agent TCP0. After that, as you know that n0 is assigned with the TCP agent, but that has to be connected to the another node, right? So for that sake, set FTP. Now FTP is nothing but file transfer protocol. So what it will do means, your let us consider ESS, that is extended service set, as the node 0. We'll consider mobile 1 as the node 1 and mobile 2 as the node 2, that is BSS 1 as the node 1 and BSS 2 as the node 2. So we have to transfer the files to check out the that is performance parameter. So for that sake, a file transfer protocol has to be used for this mobile network. So if set FTP new application FTP, that is file transfer protocol, will be set now. So after that is creating this file transfer protocol 0, this has to be attached. So for that sake, $FTP0 attach agent FTP, that is this file transfer protocol will be now attached to the agent which is created, that is TCP0. So now FTP0 is attached to the TCP0. Now after this, the sync1 will be created. Now what is this sync1 means? The mobile network, that is node 1 which you have created, that will be considered as the sync. So what exactly is this means? It defines the behavior of the destination node of TCP and assigns it to the to the pointer called sync. Okay, so now once the sync file is sync agent is created, so set sync1 new agent slash TCP agent. Now we are defining the destination behavior, node behavior as the TCP and assigning it to a point called as sync. Okay, so after creation of this, we'll attach the N1 node with the sync1. So once the N1 node is attached to the sync1, now we have to connect the node 0 with the node 1. That is, a mobile network has to be connected with the ESS. To do that, we'll use something called as NS connect $TCP0 sync1. So TCP0 sync1 will be created now. So after that, in the same way, now as we have created an agent named TCP0, then we have created a file transfer protocol, we have attached it to the TCP0, and then we have created a sync1 and we have connected the TCP0 with the sync1. In the same way, we have to do it for the one more set. That is, we'll be creating one more agent which is called as TCP1, and we'll attach the agent, that is node 0 is attached with the TCP1 agent. After that, we'll create one more file transfer protocol with the name of FTP1. We'll even attach FTP1 to the TCP1. Then we'll create a sync2, and after creating the sync2, we'll attach the N2 with the sync2. That is, node 2 is considered as sync2 now. So after that, we'll connect the TCP1, that is a TCP1 agent with the sync2, that is node 2. Now all the once after creating the agents, connecting the nodes, and telling the application, that is file transfer protocol applications and all, later we'll just move on with the start of the operation. To start the operation, we have to move on with NS at 2. This 2 is nothing but the time period at which it has to start performing its the file transfer operation. So this number can be varied. It is not fixed to 2 or 15. It can be changed. Next, we are only telling that your FTP0, that is file transfer protocol 0, should start at 2, and file transfer protocol 1 should start at 15. If I change this number, only the transmission time will be varying, which I'll be explaining in the animator. So after that, once you'll start the file transfer of the FTP0 and using FTP0 and FTP1, next is we'll just give it as NS at 3. That is 3 nodes. We'll be using the 3 nodes, so it is specified as 3. N1, that is node 1 set destination. I'm just giving you the further details as how many packets has to be transmitted and how it has to work. That's it. So your set destination as X coordinate and Y coordinate. Further, you're just giving just 100 and 600. Sorry, 1000 and 600 and 80 and 600. So after that, a procedure. Now you have set all the details. Only thing is you have to make it to work. So for that sake, we'll write a procedure. So that procedure is nothing but PROC is the instruction used to start a procedure. PROC represent procedure. Next, finish is the name given to this procedure. You can give any name to this procedure. So what are the name you will be giving? That will be the name of the procedure. I have given it as finish. So as I'm not specifically speaking what it has to do, so I'll just you open the braces and close the braces. Now after that, global NS, that is globally the network simulator should access the NAM file and the trace file. NF and TF, if you remember, means at starting you have created the NF and TF. So those are the two which we are accessing over here. So global NS, NF and TF will be accessed. Next, flush trace, that is after simulation, that the network simulator will flush the trace file. After that, it will execute the NAM file, that is network animator file will be executed, which will be of the name of CNP5. What are the file name you have taken? The same file name should be used here. So I have taken it as CNP5, so it is used as the same one. And after execution of the NAM file, you can close the trace file and exit. So that is nothing but to run the whole program and to run the animation and to get the details into your trace file, we are using this procedure. So once you are done with this, at what time it should stop the procedure. So that time is specified over here, that is ns at 20. That is, it will fix the time band as 0 to 20. So your animator will work, that is your file will run for this 20, that is 20-second timing or 20 minutes timing. After once it is done, it will be, that is finish means it will stop the procedure and it will stop the program. Now last instruction is ns run. This ns run is used to run the whole set of instruction at once and to make the network simulator to work with the creation of the nodes and making it to mobilely run around and that is to show the performance parameters of this. Now after writing the whole program, now your program is ready, you have to save. So after typing the whole program, click on save button. So that will save your program. Once your program is written and saved, you can just close this. If you just come over here, either you can use file and quit, or else you can just click on this cross button. That will close your file. Now your program is ready to run. So let us just run the program and see how exactly the output will be there. So to run the program, what we have to do it is, I have to type it as NS, that is network simulator space, give the same file name, that is acnp5.tcl. So after typing this, just press on enter button. That will show you this outcome. So this is what is the output for your program, where it is just giving you the details as a warning message will be shown. You can just ignore it. After that, how many number of nodes you have created. So number of nodes is set 3, that is 3 nodes you have created for this particular thing. So initialize the list x list head. So what that is when you are you are using the omnidirectional antenna, right? So highest antenna size, that is at 1.5, it has reached the highest intensity between the two mobile nodes when it was traveling around. So when I show the animation at that time, you can understand that one. And the distance CTS, that is DIST, is nothing but the distance CTS is equals to 550 value. So this is what, that is shortlist is done. So it has run the program and it has only given you the performance parameter as 550, and the highest antenna that is efficiency is at 1.5. Now immediately when you run the program, along with this output, even an animator file will be opened. So you can just maximize that one. After maximizing that, you can just run the program, animator. To run the animator, you have to click on this play button. So if you just click on this play button, it will start showing you the output. And here is the steps, that is that is, you can reduce the speed of the animation or you can increase the speed of the animation. That can be controlled through this. Okay, so now I'll just click on the play button. So now after clicking on the play button, you can just check it out over here. 3 nodes are created. So 3 mobile nodes are created. Any moment if you want to shuffle this one, or to that is, if it is overlapping, and if you want to check it out clearly, means you can click on this edit button. So if you just click on this edit button, it will help you to edit the nodes. That is, you can move the nodes from one place to the another place. Okay, so this is how you can move the things. That is, as I told, 3 nodes will be created. One is the ESS, extended service set. Another, that is node 0. Another one is the mobile one, which is nothing but node 0. Node 1. And mobile 2 is nothing but your node 2. Okay, I'll just continue with the that is running the program. So now it is you can just check it out. After creating of the node, the x coordinate and y coordinate values were given. So according to that, now it is being placed according to that coordinate. As I told, that is we have given the timing as the FTP 0, that is, which is related to mobile 1 should start at 2, and mobile 2 should start at 15. In the program we have specified that one. If we change the number, it start working according to that. So let us I'll just increase the speed a bit. So 1 minute. Keep observing the nodes. Your mobile 1 node will start transmitting the files. Now it's almost like 1.7, 1.8. You can I'll just reduce the speed. Now you can just check it out. There is a file transmission. I don't know whether it is visible to you or not. So this is the file transmission which is happening between the mobile node 1 and the that is ESS. It's transmitting, that is FTP. Using the FTP protocol, we are transmitting the files from mobile node 1 to ESS. It's making the communication between these two. So after the at 2 we have started making this communication happen. But for mobile 2, it is still in the wait mode, because we have specified in the program telling that mobile 2 should start transferring the files only when it reaches 15. So if you just check it out, this timing over here, it is as of now only 2.5. So only mobile node 1 is transmitting the files as of now. So it is mobile 2 is still idle. So now I'll just increase the speed to their nominal speed. So once it is done, means all the file transmission will be done, and even the mobile node. That is the main advantage of this one, right? Wireless LAN, it will be mobile. That is, mobility is possible over here. So this things which is black dotted lines which you can see over here is nothing but the dropping of the files from the ESS and the mobile one. So once that is the base station, the system or the computer or laptop or mobile which is connected to, in this particular BSS will have the mobility, so it can move around in the range and it can make the communication. So once it is done, we have given that that is diameter also. We have given the x coordinate and y coordinate where that is no mobile nodes can move around. So after that, now we are reaching almost 12, right? When it reaches 15, now you can just check it out. Now we are beyond 15. So mobile 2 has started communicating with the ESS. So this is how a nodes, mobile nodes can be created and made to make it to work. So when these two mobile nodes come across each other in a nearer range, that is one upon the other, in which the range is visible, at that time the high intensity will be there for your will shown by your antenna, and it can make the communication, that is, it has shown it as 1.5. So this is what is your fifth experiment is. So now the sixth experiment will be explained in the next video.